Rumors are swirling, is the US heading for hyperinflation? With record-breaking debt, relentless money printing, and rising prices, some fear America could join the ranks of countries where money lost all meaning. Throughout history, hyperinflation has destroyed empires, erased savings overnight, and forced people to trade suitcases of cash for loaves of bread. Here are 10 of the most shocking, absurd, and scandalous cases filled with rare facts, unbelievable numbers, and stories you'll never forget. Number 1. Germany 1923, a trillion marks for bread. Post-World War I Germany plunged into economic madness. The Treaty of Versailles demanded harsh reparations, and when Germany failed to pay, France occupied the Ruhr region in 1923. The German government responded by printing more money to support striking workers, triggering one of the worst hyperinflations in history. By November 1923, $1 equals 4.2 trillion marks. People rushed to spend wages the moment they got paid. One woman reportedly left a basket of cash outside a store. Thieves took the basket, ignoring the worthless bills. Banknotes were repurposed as wallpaper, toilet paper, and even kindling. The Reichsbank couldn't keep up. By October, it was printing 500 quadrillion marks daily. Newspapers doubled in price between morning and evening editions. In Berlin, a loaf of bread that cost 250 marks in January shot up to 200 billion marks by November. If this happened in America, how long would your savings last? A week? A day? Number 2. Hungary 1946, the worst inflation ever recorded. Hungary's post-war economy completely imploded. After Nazi occupation, Soviet invasion, and the loss of industry and infrastructure, the Hungarian pengo lost all value. By mid-1946, inflation reached 41.9 quadrillion % per month. Prices doubled every 15 hours. The highest denomination ever printed was 100 quintillion pengo, a number with 20 zeros. To cope, Hungary created a tax-adjusted currency unit, the pengo, which changed value by the hour. By the time wages were paid, they could only buy a few potatoes. Families often carried suitcases of money just to buy groceries. Government printers ran non-stop. Some banknotes were a full meter in length. Shops refused to take pengo and demanded barter or foreign currency. A retired teacher recalled, "We had to choose between heat or food, and the bills we had were good for neither." In August 1946, Hungary replaced the pengo with the forint, exchanging 400 octillion pengo for 1 forint. If your country's bills had 20 zeros, would you laugh, cry, or start bartering with potatoes? Number 3. Zimbabwe 2008, a $100 trillion joke. Under Robert Mugabe, Zimbabwe's economy was destroyed by corruption, land seizures, and reckless spending. From 2000 to 2008, inflation escalated into the absurd. By mid-2008, monthly inflation hit 79.6 billion %, eventually reaching 89.76 trillion %, numbers beyond comprehension. The government kept adding zeros to currency, 1,000, 1 million, 1 billion, and finally a $100 trillion note. But it was all useless. The note bought just a few eggs or a bus ride. Cafes had to reprint menus 3 times a day. Supermarkets didn't bother pricing items, clerks called headquarters for updates. Locals used bills to roll cigarettes or make handbags. One man joked, "I can pay you $1 billion if you give me change." The Reserve Bank tried to revalue the currency 4 times. Eventually, Zimbabwe gave up and adopted US dollars and South African rand. Even today, the 100 trillion note is sold as a tourist souvenir. What would you do with $100 trillion? Buy groceries or wallpaper your bathroom? Number 4. Yugoslavia 1993, currency worth less than firewood. In the early 1990s, as Yugoslavia crumbled, hyperinflation devoured the dinar. In January 1994, monthly inflation peaked at 313 million %. Prices doubled every 34 hours. The National Bank released a 500 billion dinar note, but people burned them to stay warm. Firewood was more valuable than money. Printing mistakes became common. One infamous note featured Jovan Jovanović Zmaj, a poet mistakenly believed to be a war criminal. Stores gave up on pricing altogether, chalkboards listed hourly price changes. Cashiers used calculators to keep up, but even those couldn't move fast enough. Doctors and professors quit and turned to street vending. A teacher in Belgrade described selling chewing gum on corners to survive. Eventually, authorities introduced the super dinar, pegged to the Deutsche Mark. Citizens were allowed to exchange only tiny portions of their savings, the rest vanished. By the end, locals said, "Our money dies before we do." Number 5. Argentina 1989, the peso's collapse and Alfonsin's fall. In 1989, Argentina's economy was in free fall. After years of military dictatorship, debt defaults, and mismanagement, the annual inflation rate surged past 5,000%. Stores raised prices multiple times daily. Middle-class savings disappeared. President Raúl Alfonsín lost control and resigned 5 months before his term ended, the first such event in Argentine history. Citizens lined up at exchange shops and bribed bankers for US dollars. Soap, cigarettes, and pasta became informal currencies. The austral, a currency introduced just 4 years earlier, was now worthless. People joked that buying goods meant racing against time. If you hesitated, the price changed. By 1991, Argentina switched to a currency board system that pegged the peso to the US dollar, but by then, the psychological damage was done. Hyperinflation left deep scars, and even today, distrust of banks and paper currency remains ingrained in Argentine culture. Number 6. China 1940s, war, sabotage, and worthless bills. During the Civil War, the Chinese government printed money non-stop. By 1949, $1 equals 23 million yuan. Prices doubled daily. Communist forces under Mao sabotaged the KMT by releasing counterfeit notes, deepening the collapse. Citizens bartered gold, silver, or even coats for food. The currency was so hated, people burned it in protest. The collapse helped pave the way for the communist takeover. Number 7. Poland 1990, a revolution in inflation. After communism fell, Poland faced inflation over 600%. Prices soared, and zloty banknotes became worthless overnight. Bills featured national heroes but were mocked as inflation ghosts. 1 week's groceries could cost 1,500,000 zloty. The Balcerowicz plan slashed subsidies and reset the economy. In 1995, 4 zeros were chopped off the zloty, finally restoring confidence. Number 8. Russia 1992, when vodka replaced the ruble. In 1992, Russia's inflation hit 2,508%. After the USSR collapsed, prices were freed, but salaries stayed stagnant. People were paid in vodka, fish, or flour. Markets took over as official systems failed. Rubles became worthless. Most Russians switched to US dollars or barter, and banking collapsed. Even coins vanished from circulation. It was capitalism in fast forward with zero safety net. Number 9. Greece 1944, bread for billions. During World War II, Nazi occupation drained Greece dry. By late 1944, bread cost 2 billion drachmas. The government printed 100 billion drachma notes, and people carried cash in baskets. The economy shut down, and famine killed hundreds of thousands. After liberation, Greece devalued the drachma at 50 billion to 1. A once proud nation was reduced to bartering for bread. Number 10. Peru 1980s, the president who made money a joke. President Alan Garcia refused to pay foreign debt, triggering massive inflation. By 1989, rates reached 7,481%. The inti collapsed. One infamous note had 2 different denominations on each side. People paid in gas, tuna, or soap. The new sol replaced the inti at 1 million to 1. Garcia fled politics only to return years later. Locals still say, "We had millions, but not a cent to spend."